Hello again, thank you for joining me on my channel. It's David Charles, International Psychic and White Witch. Today we're going to do a reading for you, a short reading, and it's called Will My Finances Improve Soon? Would you really like to know if your finances will improve soon? If so, stay with me. After the short readings, we're going to move on to stage 9 of the Old England Tarot School Diploma course. A course designed by my beautiful partner Leslie and myself well over 20 years ago. So today we're doing stage 9, which is the 9 of Wands. So before that we're going to do a short reading. Will my finances improve? Stick with me and I'll show you the answer to that in a few seconds. Thank you for waiting for me. So what we're going to do now then is make 4 stacks of cards, as I often do with this. It's short reading, don't want to get you too bored with all this, so I know it's very interesting for you. So wrong way up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What I want you to do now, as always, if you've been with me a while, is to choose a pack of cards here from these 4 stacks, which are numbered in my mind 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 or 4. Pick one you like the feeling of, or the sound of, or the intuition in your psychic side says to pick, because you've been guided here. This is what we call a timeless reading, which means there's no dates on it. You're here because you're meant to be here, and you'll find it when it's time. So pick 1, 2, 3 or 4. If you want to stop the video, please do. If you've made your choice, we'll start off with number 1. And the question is, will your finances improve soon? This is a reading that won't resonate with everybody out there, of course, but you'll know if it's right for you. Okay, number 1. The initial answer is not really, no. This financial stuff isn't a big thing in this, but I'm only looking really 4 to 5 weeks ahead, so you could have a different kind of reading if you look at my other work later on and see if this changes. But it doesn't mean you can't make it happen just because there's not actual finance shown in the reading. For a start off, you're going to receive an offer soon, but I don't think it's about work or money. I think it's about romance. So somebody will be offering you to take you out or a date, or it can mean that you will be offering somebody something of a romantic nature as well. It appears to me that a lot of you, number 1, have had somebody that quite likes you around for some time, and you may not have even noticed. So you may have a secret admirer that you know very well, maybe just a friend. He or she could be someone you've been seeing for years at work, or in the shops, down the local sweet shop, or the newsagents, behind the counter perhaps. It could be anywhere. It could be at the swimming pool or the gym. But you seem to have had a friend around you for a while who may be a bit too shy to ask you out, or perhaps he or she thinks they've got no chance, they're not good enough for you. But there is almost certainly an admirer. So if you get an anonymous Valentine card, you'll know where it's coming from. Well, you'll have an idea that there's somebody out there. This person may make themselves known. As I said, it can work the other way. It could be that you, number 1, are secretly admiring somebody and you're afraid of asking them out. Perhaps you feel they're tied up. So all of these things can improve your finances in an indirect kind of way. It maybe you'll save money by having cozy nights in. Maybe this person is quite wealthy. But there is romance in the air, especially if you're single and especially if you're lonely. And as I always say in these readings, a special hello to you if you're lonely tonight or today when you watch this. I'm always here if you want to have a look at these readings. I think some of you, number 1, have missed out on money chances in the past. And you're looking back and thinking, if only I'd done that, I'd be quite wealthy now. So money was around and you may have missed it. This may come back again, a second chance, but they don't always come very often. So remember your mistake last time. It may have been a job you refused to do, or you may have left a job that you really shouldn't have left. It's something similar to that. I think you've had a chance of financial improvement, quite a lot of it when you were younger. Or it could have been quite recently. Now you're looking back and thinking, if only I'd done that differently. Well, as you know, you cannot go backwards. So no point in doing that, as I call it, crying over spilt milk. So number one, next time an opportunity presents itself, try and think it over. Don't give it up too easily. At the same time, of course, don't be reckless. I think there's a lot of negativity around you, number one. It's not you. I think the people around you excuse me, are being quite negative. It could be the family, it could be your friends. If you've got ideas to making more money or financial improvement, they may be poo-pooing the idea and talking you out of it. They may be giving you negative vibes that's sort of putting you off. So if you have ideas for improving your finances, you need to go with them really, because you can do it. As I said, it's not set in stone in the reading, but there are opportunities coming, and you need to be not dissuaded by negative people, because there are some negative people around you, number one. And as I always say, negative people will bring you down if you're not careful, and they may make you as negative as they are. I think number one, most of you are quite optimistic. You're an optimistic kind of person. As I keep saying, not all of you, but a lot of you will find that this reading will resonate with you and it will fit you to like a glove. And so don't be put off by negative people. Don't be put off by your negative feelings. Try and stay positive. If you're learning the tarot course, that will help your finances eventually. That's a dead cert. But it takes time to learn, and just stick with me, and we're doing the course, as I said, stage 9 today. Now, a lot of you have young children, number one, or at least one young child. Anyway, I'm picking up with lots of you. If there's not a young child around, there may be one on the way soon. You may not be pregnant yet, but it could happen soon. Now, that, of course, can affect your ability to earn a living or to earn a good living, because you may have to employ childminders and people like that, and that's money going out rather than coming in. And I think, looking at what I'm picking up here, a lot of you are already paying out lots of money for childminders. So that's putting a bit of a dampener on things, because you're possibly earning a good living, but losing some of it, because the childminder has to have wages as well. But a child in the reading is looking good. It's a nice thing. And I think you've also got new beginnings coming. So things can change, number one. Try not to dwell on missed opportunities or opportunities that you gave up completely. Sometimes people give up their job because they think there's something better around the corner, and then it doesn't work, or they try to open a business of their own and it fails and they wish they'd stay where they were. Some people get made redundant and use the redundancy pay to open a little business. But if this happened to you in the past, number one, leave that behind now. Learn from it. You can't go back to it, but you can learn from it. These experiences are here to teach us lessons. I think, number one, you have an admirer, or you are secretly admiring somebody. I think you're looking back with tears of regret. Sometimes these can be real tears as well. I think you've got to avoid negative attitudes in your own mind as well. Avoid negative people, because they will bring you down and lower your moods. They'll make you as negative as they are if you're not careful. Don't be impolite. Be nice to them, but try to avoid them if you can, or try to avoid picking up their negativity. Any children around is marvellous, especially if you're trying for a baby, but bear in mind it will affect, or it could be your partner, of course, it may affect the amount you can earn and save financially. And I think you've got some good stuff, number one, especially interesting around the romantic side, although this reading is not called that. It's called Will My Finances Improve Soon? Thank you for watching that, number one. Please subscribe to my channel, everybody. Click the like button and the bell icon, and then you'll receive notification every time I upload a new video, which is quite frequently at the moment, because we want to get through this tarot course, and there are 78 cards to learn. So you won't learn them all on this video, but they will be put into print for you to download at a later date, which is a massive project because it's been done before on paper, but of course that's out of date now. Let's take a look at number 2. If you chose number 2, this is for you. Okay, now there's money owing to you, apparently. A lot of you, number 2. You've got money that you're waiting for, and may have been waiting quite a while for it. And you may have to wait a while longer. I'm looking really 4 to 5 weeks ahead here. I think a lot of you are very, very hard workers, number 2. And I think a lot of you do things the hard way as well. So you may be pushing water uphill, I always call it. But your earthly life is big in this reading. That's the earthly life is the way the basic part of your life, the down-to-earth stuff, not the love life quite so much. But I think a lot of you are waiting patiently for some money to come to you, money that you know is rightfully yours. It will come, but it may not come for a few weeks. So you may have to instigate things. There's no obvious message here that somebody is trying to cheat or swindle you, because that does come up in lots of readings. So whoever owes you this money, I think they are good for it, and you will get it eventually. But from somewhere, if you're not expecting it, money is predicted, number 2. I can't be sure it's a lot, but it's certainly worth having, otherwise I wouldn't be getting told about it. My spirit guides tell me money is coming, number 2, and it's one of the main parts of your reading, actually, as far as this goes. As I keep saying, these readings won't resonate with everybody, but you'll know if they're for you. They're dateless, timeless, because you could find this reading in months from now, and it will be because you were meant to find it. You chose these cards, nobody else. I didn't choose them, so you were meant to be here. Doesn't matter if it's 10 years' time. You can come back and look at these readings, choosing different cards. However, I think, number 2, a lot of you are doing things the hard way, and there are easier ways to earn a living than what you're doing. Some of you may have 3 or 4 jobs, and that's not good for you at all. But of course, some of you can't help it. A lot of you got a lot of expenses, maybe children to look after, relatives. Some of you may be carers as well. But there is some money coming, and it's worth having. Stop making life harder for yourself. It can mean that you're saying yes to everybody, and they're putting upon you when you should be really saying no sometimes. But that's the way you are. You're kind, you're hardworking, you're diligent. But don't overtax yourself. You need to look after yourself. There is a lady around you. In some of you, it will be a man, but there's a person around you who I believe is worried about you. So it's somebody linked to your work. I don't think it's a relative. I think it's someone to do with the way your living is earned, or the way your living comes in if you're on benefits. Somebody's worried about you, and it's somebody who knows what they're doing and knows where they're going. So they're quite a strong character. They get what they want. Not a bad thing. It's not a bad person. But they're worried about you, and it's someone you can get advice from. It's someone you can tell all your troubles to. They're not a counsellor or anything like that, or a therapist. But it's somebody you can tell your troubles to, number 2, who will listen to you in total secrecy. Again, at the end of these 4 to 5 weeks, you're back at it, working too hard. You're not seeing the wood for the trees. You're not seeing things clearly because you're obsessed with trying to earn your living, which you've got no choice about, I suppose. But your reading shows money soon. I think you've got the ability to keep it, because some readings show it going out as quick as it comes in. So you have the ability to keep it. You're good with money, number 2. Most of you, not all of you. But you're good at looking after finances. You're good at work. You're skilled to a certain degree. I don't think any of you are rocket scientists, or not many of you anyway. Put comments below if you are. There's a person, a lady or a man, possibly a lady, who's concerned about you, who will give you good advice about finance and everything else. Don't do everything the hard way. Stop saying yes to everybody, especially family members maybe ringing you up, asking you to do little jobs for them. You can't always be there. You can't be in 10 places at once. Although you try desperately to, it's just wearing you out. But I think, number 2, there is some money coming to you soon. And if you want a full-length reading with me, go to davidcharlespsychic.com. That's my website. One of my team there. I've got a great team of readers. They're the best there is. Or you can book me on there, and it's davidcharlespsychic.com. Let's take a look at number 3. Thank you for that, number 2, listening to all that. Now, number 3 As the next 4 or 5 weeks unfold, a journey will begin for you into the one of the most exciting periods that you've had for many years. It's time for you to take a chance, to take a leap of faith, as depicted by the fool. And you're no fool. The thing is with the fool, though, he often goes jumping in without thinking about things. So think things over first. But as far as finances are concerned, if you are prepared to take a chance, number 3, finances for you will improve. Once again, it's not set in stone. It's something you've got to make happen. You've got to take a chance, but you must not just go jumping in without thinking things through. So spend the night thinking over things. Talk about it with your partner if you have one. Talk about it with friends if you want to, if it's not something you want to keep private. But I believe that if you take a leap of faith soon, you will be victorious around your career or the way you earn your living. I always say career, but some people earn livings in other ways. But as I said, benefits and that sort of thing, I'm afraid, occur sometimes. But if you take a leap of faith, take a chance, take a risk without being reckless, you will win out in the end. You will overcome competitors, obstructions. You will be shown to be victorious in the competition area. So if 2 or 3 people are after a job and you apply for it, I believe that you will be the one they choose. It's that simple. Make sure you can do it before you apply. Don't wait too long. These things don't last forever. And then you'll be mixing with a person who could be man or woman, who's bright, intelligent, gifted, talented, and all of this will rub off on you. This person, man or woman, can do anything they choose. They could be a journalist, they could be a cake maker, they could do wedding photography, they could do event planning, they could be a musician. Doesn't matter what they do, they are brilliant at it because they have the gifts of the magician. And the magician can set his heart or her heart and mind to any job and be good at it. They've got this gift. And people say to them, how come you're always good at whatever you do? It's because they've got the gift. And it's simple as that. They're born with a gift from the spirit world, a gift from the universe. Now you're going to be meeting a person like this, and the gift that he or she has will rub off on you if you allow it to, because you'll get quite close, I believe. It could be a new friend. After you take your leap of faith, after you beat off competitors, you will meet this new person. Make no mistake about it, this will happen to most of you. Unfortunately, the end of the reading, number 3, shows a little bit of stress, but that's quite understandable if you're changing everything. You're bound to get some stress. We all get that. It's the modern disease, stress, dis-ease. And stress disease is a killer, so don't get too much stress. Keep your stress levels down. Plan ahead for this because it will come and you need to be ready for it, so you need to be able to chill out. Spend a few hours in a hot bath or being pampered. Spend some hours learning the tarot. Spend some hours being pampered and spoiled. Keep your stress levels down. It comes up in so many readings, I know. It could be repetitive, but it's the way the world is. So number 3, you've got the best reading of the 3 so far. A new journey, a leap of faith for you. Take a chance. Don't be daft and reckless. Make sure you're capable of doing it, and I think you are. Your employment status or your way you earn your living will improve, so your money should improve as well. Your finances will improve, number 3. The man or lady you meet is clever. Listen to them. Take in their opinions, but more than that, take in their attitude, the way they live their life. Try and let them model you a little bit. Let them be your role model. And then keep your stress levels down, number 3. Important. Because you've got a really good few months ahead of you. I really believe that. Thank you for watching that, number 3. As I said, if you want a proper full-length reading, you can get one of my elite team of readers on davidcharlespsychic.com. If you chose number 4, thank you for sticking around. I hope you ran it on a bit so you didn't have to listen to all that. And we'll take a look at yours, number 4. This is going right back to what I said earlier. I think it was to number 1. First of all, number 4, you're not sleeping well. That means you've got some worries. Something is bothering you. I know everyone has worries, but there's something in this reading that tells me I always call it alone at night with your worries for company. You can be in a crowded room and be lonely. You can be in bed with your partner and be lonely. You can still be sleeping alone. But I see you alone at night worrying, as depicted by the picture on this card. You can see the person sitting up worrying. You don't want to be doing that, number 4, because money is coming. And as I mentioned earlier, you're the type of person who lets it in one hand and straight out the other one, so you can be over generous. You won't change that. That's part of your lovely characteristics. But you have to look after yourself. As they say, sometimes charity begins at home. So make sure you don't overdo it with the generosity, number 4. There's a person around you who travels extensively. He or she is solid, reliable, and they will be linked to financial improvement for you, number 4. So your finances, in almost all of these readings, will improve directly. A couple of them, I think you've got to make it happen. But look out for this person who travels. He or she will guide you. They're solid. They're the sort of person you can trust. None of these readings have indicated cheats or deceit, which is lovely when you're talking about cash and money, because you often get that in that kind of reading. So try to sort out your worries, number 4, because worrying about things doesn't help. I know I'm often saying that, and it's easy for me to say. It's not easy to stop worrying. And then there may be some irritation around you as the 4 or 5 weeks unfold. A little bit of naughtiness going on with people getting on your nerves. They're not cheats, but people may irritate you. It may be because you're tired and you're a bit fed up and you're a bit worried and you're finding things irritating. Try not to let that happen, because it's not really like you. If you're not sleeping well, you will be more touchy, if that's the right word. And it'll feel like everybody around you is getting on your nerves. Don't let them. It's not that bad. If you, as I said to the others, if you need a proper psychic reading, a full length one, give me a call. You can get me on davidcharlespsychic.com, or one of my elite team will read for you. So, number 4, try to stop worrying, especially at night when you're sleeping. We're going to do the 9 of clubs in a bit, so you can take that to bed with you. That will help you calm down as you study that. A share of money will come to you. When I say a share of money, it means, of course, you may not be the only one receiving it. It could be that more than one person receives this money. So don't let it all in one hand and out the other. Okay? Watch out for a man or woman who travels extensively, who is as solid as an oak tree. You can trust them, and if they give advice to you, it's good, it's valuable. They're successful. They look it. They've got success written all over them. They look wealthy. They're smart. They're good. They're well dressed. He or she probably drives a nice car. And they carry it well. They're not scruffs. They're smart. And they're not only smart wearing suits and that when they work, but they're pretty smart when they're laid off and, when they're relaxing as well. When they're popping down to the shops on the weekend or down to the beach, they still look good. They look good whatever they wear. That's the type of person it is. Don't let things irritate you, number 4, especially if you're tired, because you can get a bit niggly sometimes. We all can. So try to stop worrying. Money is coming. Don't let it in one hand and out the other. So thank you all that from number 1, 2, 3 and 4 for listening to me. And I hope you found it interesting. Will your finances improve soon? In most of your cases they will, or you can make them. So remember now, we're going to do stage 9 of the Old England Tarot School diploma course. And I'll be asking you to, well, I'll read a few notes to you in a few moments. And if you stick with me, we'll do number 9 in just a few seconds. So see you in a moment. Hello again. Thank you for sticking with me and staying to hear the stage 9 of your Old England Tarot School diploma course. And here we have in front of you the card, which is the 9 of Wands, of course. Excuse me using notes, but I don't want to forget things. Now the 9 of Wands means you've arrived. You've actually arrived where you wanted to go. Your position is quite secure, but life hasn't really been a bed of roses. You've had to work. As you can see by this person, he's got a bandage around his head. He's been through a few battles. And that's why the Rider-Waite cards are the best, because the pictures give away what the meanings really for you, and they're the easiest ones to learn. They're also, I believe, the best cards you can get. A lot of the modern cards are a bit commercialised, to say the least. So this bloke's had hard, and woman, this person's had hard times, they've had struggles. They've got to their position through work, true grit, as the film says, determination. That's how they're there. They've begun to feel cautious now, though, because there may be, and well, there's good reason, because there may be people around them that can't be trusted, and there may be people that are a bit jealous or a bit envious of their position. And this is similar to one of the earlier ones cards. If you may notice that a lot of this they can tie together, but it depends what's around these cards. They're never much on their own, as I keep saying. This means to the person they've got to take care, they've got to hold their ground. Never underestimate what they've accomplished. If it's you, don't underestimate yourself, what you've done to get to where you are. You've worked for it. But there may be a bit more turmoil ahead. That's what this card is saying to you, okay? If this card's in a spread, it shows that you, or the person may be a victim of circumstances, things they couldn't really avoid. It was circumstantial. But it's sometimes caused by neglect from things they did in their past, or you did in your past if it's your reading. So they have the advantage of the present. So they arrive where they're going, and they've got to rely on their resourcefulness and their inner strength. This card represents that you've been through it, you've got the bruises to prove it, and you've got the strength to prove it because you're still standing. So they should, if there's a delay, they need to use that time to put their plans together, because there could be delays. As you can see, he looks like he's waiting around with his bruises, he or she. You need to be wise before the event and not after. That's what it means. There are a few key words with the Nine of Wands. They are with all of them. And it's really, you're assuming that people have got it in for you. It's not always paranoia. There may be somebody around that's jealous. You may be expecting the worst and taking precautions for that to happen. Don't be paranoid. Be a bit wary, be guarded. But you may also find that you're protecting other people as well when you see this card. Remember the past attacks. People getting on you in the past. Because you can slip into your memory and you forget how difficult things were. You need to persevere, persist despite setbacks. Don't take no for an answer either, if you see this. Don't get knocked down again. Stay standing up, keep your resolve and try. Try and try repeatedly. Continue despite feeling tired as well. You need to hold fast, draw on all your hidden reserves, which you have if you're this person. Demonstrate physical strength and keep hanging on, as the song says. If the card's upside down or reversed, as some people call it, then it can mean obstacles, lack of initiative, things not going according to plan and feeling trapped or entrapment or setbacks. That can of course adversely affect your health. So you need to watch it if you see this card backwards or upside down. I don't do upside down cards unless I'm requested to. Don't be stubborn and don't hide from reality. That's if it's upside down or reversed. But if you sum up this card, it means that you're a fighter, or the person you're reading for is a fighter. When you start doing your readings, because you've learnt the Old England Tarot School course to diploma standard. This person's been hurt. He's been knocked down, but he's still there. He's had bad experiences. He feels tired and battle scarred. But when someone's battle scarred, you know in wars, when people get dug in and entrenched, they're tough because they've been through it. And it's the same with this person. He may not have been physically hurt too much. It may be that he's been hurt emotionally, well, both really. So he needs to be careful, he needs to be watchful, because he could get hurt again. But he's tough, a bit like a Rottweiler. Never lets go, or a bulldog. He's been burnt and he knows what it feels like to get burnt. You don't want to get burnt again. He's got to try at the same time not to become bitter, because you can do sometimes. He may have put strength into people around him as well, by the way. So strength is the aspect of the Nine of Wands. This bloke or lady is tough. You'll know one of these if you meet with the person. I'm sure you know somebody like this. They never give up. Like the Terminator. You know, he never gives up. He says, I'll be back. So, in the end, you'll be sparkling eyes, you'll be there, you'll be up for it, ready to do it. I hate that expression, why did I say that? But you'll be ready. You'll be ready for it. This card tells you no matter what, you'll keep going, you will prevail. So it's a good card, although it's not straightforward. Of course, when we do the notes for this course, there'll be a lot more than that. We can't discuss them all on here. It'll take hours. Eventually this will all be put into writing for you to download from my website. If you need a psychic reading, a full length one, please go to davidcharlespsychic.com. One of my team will answer the phone for you, or you can book me on the website as well. So it's davidcharlespsychic.com. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe if you want to. Click the bell icon and you'll receive notification every time I upload a video. Put some comments down below, tell your friends, and a special greeting for those of you who are all alone at the moment. Thank you for watching. Soon we'll move on to stage 10 of the Old England Tarot School course. So I'll look forward to seeing you soon, and I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.